Hello, everybody. We are live. Welcome to the show. I'm Mike Allen. This will be the let's see. I even got all that time to get ready, and I get the date wrong over here. Let me say it is not the 4th. It is the 18th. I think you guys let me slide last week with that. Anyway. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Mike Allen. This is the last time I'll be off this little thing. But the good news is I have my own Wi-Fi. So the connection should be good because the Wi-Fi is only like 4 feet away from me tonight, where in the previous weeks it's been almost 50 feet away at my neighbor's house. Well, trailer. But I got it hooked up. And the cool thing about this setup is it's fiber optic. So once I get the big computer built, matter of fact, I just got some more stuff in today. I'm going to start putting that together, getting the garage cleaned out and organized from my move. Just kind of been doing a little bit every day to get that ready, and we'll be ready to go. I'm excited about it. Got a little distracted last week. As you know, I bought a motorcycle. Last week we talked about it a little bit, where I had a motorcycle. See, this thing's getting warm. See, the problem is what I'm working off of is a Surface Go, and it gets a little warm. So let me get the fan on it. There we go. Maybe the connection will be a little bit better. But the problem is that I'm working off of a subpar deal here. So, yeah. So just kind of hang with me. It's the last week that we'll be doing this it's going to be choppy. The replay's not choppy though. I went back and looked at the replay. But Brian, just hang in there, buddy. The replay will be a little bit choppy. Thanks for joining. So I bought a motorcycle, and it's a Yamaha. It's a 2004 Yamaha 1700 Midnight, a Roadstar Midnight, and it's a fun bike to ride. It's really fun. So I've been riding the hell out of that thing, and the problem is that I have. The pipes that I have on that came with it are Vance and Hines straight pipes, so they're pretty loud. So my ears ring after I get done riding it, and I'm just not a loud pipe guy. I'm not. So I ordered the OEM exhaust for it, and that's what I'll be putting on and getting all that put together. But those just came in too, so. See if this is cooling down a little bit. Yeah, it should be cooling down a little bit. My stream should. So this is a Microsoft Surface Go. It's a small computer, and I'm pushing the vMix through it. So a lot of stuff happening. I was going to try to see if I could patch somebody in tonight to be a part of the show, but when I tried to patch in through the video feature that they have for this, it wouldn't do it off my phone. It has to be off a computer. So I don't know, vMix, you guys need to catch up, man, if you're going to be a viable player in the game of video chat, because nobody really video chats off a desktop anymore. It's all off their phones and off a notepad. So, but no, this isn't live. Come on, guys. Come on, man. I know that's a funny joke. But, if you don't think it's live, I don't give a shit. So, yeah, I've been riding my motorcycle, went and got it registered and inspected. And one of the things when I bought it, it had I needed to change out what's called the speedometer sensor. Now, speedometer sensor on these modern motorcycles, well, after 2000, a lot of these motorcycles, they don't have a speedometer cable. A cable used to hook in the back of the speedometer, and it had a wire cable that spun and it went down and connected to your transmission, and that cable would spin as you moved, and that would register how fast you were going and work the odometer. Well, they don't do that anymore. They have what's called a speedometer sensor. Now, the sensor, exactly, that's like old school motorcycles. But what they have is a sensor that sits over top of the gears in your transmission. So it registers how fast that spins, and that gives you the speed. Well, the problem is that sensor can go bad. And when it went bad in my motorcycle, when I bought it, the guy I bought it from had the part. He just didn't have he hadn't put it in, and I thought that you would need to do that before you get it inspected. So I was going through that whole process of switching that out. Well, I didn't know where it was. I didn't know where it was on the bike, so I had to get on YouTube and get on the internet and try to find where the sensor was even located. And I got onto a couple of message boards, which I know is so early 2000s. But a lot of the guys were on these message boards, and I would get stuff like, I'm just looking for the location of it, and they would give all these technical, it's back behind the flux capacitor down by this and that, but nobody would just take a picture and say it's right here. So I took a picture when I found it and said, it's this guy right here. And that picture went, I don't know if you go viral on a forum, but that picture's like, oh my God, thank you. I've been looking for it for, no one's ever really told me anything. Or they'd show a picture of the transmission broke down, like on the inside. It's like, it's right there. And I'm like, yeah, but how do you get to it from the outside? So anyway, I found it. Of course, I had to go buy some more tools because, like anything, you're going to need specialized tools to go down and get at that little bugger. And the thing is, only the sensor sits behind the exhaust manifold down a little square hole about maybe that big, and then all the way down inside. So to get it off, I had to go buy a small ratchet that had the hex nut. I had to fit it down in there to break it loose to get it out. And there's not enough room to get your fingers down there to twirl it, so it was a mess. Anyway, I got it out, got the new one in, and some of you who are mechanics will appreciate this. I one-clicked it all the way down until it was tight. And how I had to do that is I had to take the small ratchet that I had bought, which didn't have enough handle on it, and I took my 1/4-inch socket set with a deep well socket that fit over the end of that wrench. I taped it and then had the extension, so I had a nice big, and I was like, click, and I'd hold, and then I'd take a butter knife to put down and hold on to the ridges of the nut to get tension, so I could, like, hold it to get the click, so it'd be a click, and let it up. And I mean, it took me 10 minutes to screw that damn thing back in, but I got it in and it worked fine. And I'm telling you, that was a tough road to get that thing in and out, but it's done, it's in, it's out, and I'm excited about it. Now I got a speedometer. I know how fast I'm going, which is good. It's always good to know how fast you're going. See, now I'm back to an excellent connection because I'm cooling down the thing. Yeah. Now, well, I got a fan blowing on the back of it. So, thank you. Is that Marcella? Marcella, hey Marcella, welcome to the show. Anyway, but I hadn't been on a motorcycle in years, and for those of you who know me, I used to be a motorcycle policeman back in the day, and so I rode a motorcycle for a living every day for like 3 years. It was great. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed riding and riding for a living. And I actually took it to work the other day. And it's getting a little cold here in Texas. I was coming back from class today, and that sun ducked down behind the thing, and boy, it got cold quick, man. It got cold quick. I was like, holy cow. You appreciate that heat from that big V twin coming up there. It's a big old V twin. It's a 1700, but it's actually 1690 cc, not a full 1700. But it gets up and gets after it. Like I said, the only thing I don't like about it right now, and I just got the new exhaust. Well, I didn't get the new exhaust. I got the used exhaust in because they don't make the exhaust for these anymore. It's too old. I found out. So I got the new pipes in. So we'll be figuring out how to get those mounted on the bike, and I think there's going to be some more stuff I got to do to it. And I'm kind of getting used to the loud pipes, but I tell you, after you ride it for a while, man, I tell you what, you get off that thing, your ears are ringing. They are ringing. So, got to get rid of those loud pipes. So this will be the last time I broadcast off this Surface Go. I got all the parts of the computer in, got all the parts to the mobile man cave, and I'm getting the space cleaned out. When I moved out of my house, I just kind of, it was 16 years of stuff that I had to go through, and there's a lot of history and a lot of pictures and stuff you just hold on to because you're in a house, and you go back into all these little corners and recesses of the house, and I was finding pictures and albums and yearbooks and stuff I haven't seen in years. And so I got rid of most of it, mailed most of it to my ex-wife, and then gave a bunch to my kids. And then I was able to just walk out the front door and load what was left into the toy hauler. And I have a 2018 Vengeance, Forest River Vengeance toy hauler, if you want to look up what it is. It's a pretty big toy hauler. It's a pretty big setup here. I mean, it's big enough for me and my dog. And but anyway, I loaded all of that into the garage area, but now I have to go through and still kind of, just get rid of some more stuff. And it's hard because a lot of that stuff, have memories attached to it. So I'm going to put another box together for my wife, send it to her, and a lot of her pictures and stuff that I found that I have no use for, but I think she would appreciate. So I'm going to send that to her and just get it all cleaned out. Got the mounting brackets for the monitors. I got 3 new monitors, big monitors. Got that in. I got the I'm still trying to figure out if I want to just get a little desk, like a little table, which I think I'm going to end up doing. Get an actual solid desk that I can put the keyboard and stuff on, and the mixer and stuff like that, and something to attach the boom mic to for the microphone. It's going to be fun to kind of figure that out. Of course, I'm going to have a green screen behind me. I'm going to try the green screen stuff. So it's going to be an interesting change from the man cave that I started in 12 years ago. Not 12 years ago. 2011, started in 2012, so 9 years ago. So, but starting in January, I went back and I counted what I could count, and I've got 2 hard drives I got to hook up to the computer. I'm going to go back and get kind of a count of what show and season. I should have done that from the beginning, but I didn't. But I'm going to try to get the best count that I can for the show. So when we start in January, it'll be our, 10th season. So it'll be season 10, episode 1, and I'm just going to go, moving forward, I'm going to do it like that, I think. But I'm just kind of thinking out loud now. Yes, RV lifestyle, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of fun because, it's new. Somebody made the comment the other day about the RV lifestyle and about how think the comment was made, uh, wow, you know, how far have you fallen where you don't own a house, now you're living in a trailer. Well, I sold the house for almost three times what I bought it for, and I didn't know that, you know, I owed less than what I bought it for. And so I took that money and I bought outright this fifth wheel. I bought outright a motorcycle. I bought everything I bought for the man cave is cash, and I bought a truck, a big F-350 Ford dually truck, and you know it's all paid for, and I got money in the bank. So I don't know how I failed or how I'm fallen or how I'm broken. It's not like I, you know, moved into a old beat up trailer with weeds growing up around it, and I'm driving a, you know, a '79 Nova that I just found at the junkyard and got running. It's, you know, it's different. It's definitely different. It's different living in an RV. It's kind of like living in, well, it's living in a vehicle. So it's, but there's nothing here really that I can't fix or figure out how to fix on my own. If you're handy, it's not that big of a deal. It's got a fireplace. You know, it's got a nice big kitchen with a island, and you know, it's just, I just, you know, it's nice. It's nice. It gets kind of cold in the morning, and the sleeping area up front in the nose cap is where the sleeping area is, and it's a big queen bed. I got a really comfortable mattress, one of those memory foam mattresses that's up there, and it's big enough for me and Radar to get up there and cuddle, and she's got plenty of room because she doesn't like to you know, get too close after the pets and cuddles are done. She gets off into her own area, and it's large, big enough for me to stretch out on. And the cool thing about it is it's such a small space. It's big enough for me to move around and get dressed and stuff like that, but it's small enough where I have a little space heater that I used to keep underneath the desk in my old man cave, and it heats up the whole space. And then I got the fireplace in here, heats up in here just fine. So I think my electric bill was $40 or something like that. That's with running the AC. I don't know what it's going to be this month. It's going to be a lot less than that because I hardly run anything. You know, all the lights are LED lights, so they're very efficient. You know, my hot water heater and my furnace are all gas. Gas is $22 to fill up a tank, and the tank lasts forever. Except when I forget to turn it off. Hold on. Oh, I forgot to turn off my water heater earlier. So, but the RV lifestyle, it's pretty cool. You know, if I get tired of living here, I can just pick up and go. Oh, here's an update on Crestview. First of all, if you live in Texas and you're thinking about the RV lifestyle, do not go to Crestview RV. They are the worst. Matter of fact, they have me. I called the other day. I'm still waiting on my plate and my title. And so I called them, and the phone rang forever. Finally, someone picked it up, and you could tell they were looking at the number. So they already know I'm pissed off. So they won't even answer the phone if it's my number. So I'm going to have to drive over there. Probably tomorrow afternoon. I'll take a break and get on the bike and ride over there and say, hey, where's my plate? You know, because they let me roll out without even putting the temporary plate on it. they're a wreck. I went ahead and got my RV inspected on my own dime. Cost me $250. And he went through everything and he checked it out, did a pressure check, you know, and checked out my stove, which has, you know, and just identified all the things that are wrong with it. And there's really not a whole lot wrong with it. And it wasn't the point that I thought there was a lot of things wrong with it, but they never checked it. So how did they know? They just let me roll off the lot. But the biggest thing is I rolled off the lot with someone else's shit in my black tank. So you know they didn't check nothing. They did nothing. So I'm reached out to the previous owner, and I'm going to contact Crestview and say, look, whatever you paid the previous owner, since you gave it to me in the same condition that you bought it from him from, how about you reimburse me the difference? And I'll just buy it one for one. You come out even. I have filed with the state of Texas lemon law, and I have filed with, of course, the Better Business Bureau, and I'm updating them as we go. But the biggest thing is that the expectation, well, the feedback I'm getting is kind of like a you should have known better. No, 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 no. See, that's not how capitalism works. See, capitalism works when you have, if you're going to engage in the free market has rules. And the rules are that the company that provides the best service at the best cost uh, thrives, and the company that provides the worst service and rips you off should not survive. Unfortunately, the laws in the state of Texas do not, there's no law that says that someone can lie to you to sell you something. They can outright lie to you. And as long as as long as you're not aware enough to get stuff down on paperwork, which, there's a level of trust that I would expect from buying a big ticket item from a dealership that shouldn't have been concerned about selling me this RV. They should have been concerned about selling me my next RV. And I'm never going to go back to Crestview for anything. I'm going to go back and get my plate because they went through all that fucking paperwork. And that's it. I'm done. I will never. I peeled the sticker off the back. I won't even advertise for them. If anybody asks me, I'm going to tell them, do not do any business with Crestview. They will rip you off. They will rip you off, and they will lie to you, and they have no integrity whatsoever. None. And yeah, they got me. They got me good. So if you're from Crestview and you're watching this, or you happen to stumble across this because somebody said, hey, you need to watch that Mike Allen guy. He's bad-mouthing you. You're damn right I'm bad-mouthing you. You're trash. You're garbage. Absolute straight garbage. The people that work there are garbage, and they should all be fired. They should not be in a process of taking people's money and giving them something. I kind of get worked up about it, and legally there's nothing I can do. Legally there's nothing I can do. Because I signed and said as is. As I'm being told through the whole process, yes, we're checking it. Yes, we're doing a quality check. Yeah, during that 4 days, we're going to go over it stem to stern, and we're going to make sure that everything is A-OK. And what I didn't know, and what I will do from now on, is I want to see a copy of the checklist. I want to see where it was checked off. I didn't know enough to ask that. I just didn't know. But I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to press people to do their jobs. I shouldn't have to. I should walk in there. A certain level of trust is expected. Sure, do your homework. Make sure you know what you're buying. I know I'm buying an RV. These things are not built very strong. They're built for weight. So I can't, this is not a solid, this is a solid piece of wood because it goes outside, but all the internal walls, they're just thin little thing. You bump into it, you can knock it loose from the ceiling. Now, it's built that way for weight. So you just don't bump into walls. And of course, it's got replacement parts. So if I do break a wall, I can call Forest River and say I'm in a 2018 Vengeance and this is the wall I need replaced, and they'll send me a new wall. Now I'll pop it in. But, the expectation when I walk in someplace is that I'll be told the truth, and I was just lied to my face. Lied to my face. And it's almost like, you get to a point where no one's ever called them on their bullshit. You're right, I should have known better. Sam, I should have known better. I should have known better. You're right. And I've learned an important lesson. Thank God this rig is in halfway decent shape. I mean, there's everything that I've identified that needs to be replaced is replaceable, and it's not that big of a deal. I mean, even the water heater, which is old, I went online, and then a new water heater for one of these cost maybe $395, and there's a whole YouTube video on how to swap them out, and it's not that hard. I mean, it's going to take some tools. I got tools. I got tools, and I got I'm halfway decent on figuring things out, so I can fix a lot of the stuff on my own. I would definitely suggest that if you do adopt an RV lifestyle, that you absolutely learn how to fix stuff on your own, or at least be in a position where you can fix stuff, or that you're adept at fixing stuff and just little stuff, and but there's really not that. There's nothing really outlandish that you can't figure out on one of these things. And I figured, and I got my one of the things that was wrong is the generator wouldn't start, and so we got that fixed. I fixed that actually. It didn't cost me maybe $60, and I fixed that. So that works now. So that actually came in handy today because the power went out, and I just walked over there and kicked the generator on. So I got a big old 50-gallon tank of gas, which I need to put some more gas in because it's going to start getting cold. And the cool thing about this RV that I have is it has a Cummins Onan power generator in it that I can turn on right over here. So if the power goes out, I just turn the generator on, and a 50-gallon tank of gas will last. I think continuously running, it'll last. I think they're saying a week, maybe a week and a half on one tank. It's a big gas tank packed. I basically have a gas station in the back of this thing. So if I'm ever running low on fuel with the bike, I just pull it back there and put some gas in it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, of course, you got to run the high test. So that cost me about $90 to fill up when I did. But yeah, I haven't had to move yet. I've only pulled it once, and it pulled pretty good. That Ford F-350 pulled it pretty good, and I think I'm going to move this over one spot here, but I think I'm going to stay in this park until until I get a job somewhere else. I think I'm going to go ahead and just stay here because it's one of those things where I had been on the waiting list for a couple other places closer to town, but really I'm right next to 183. I can jump on and head south up here in Leander, and I got 183 on one side, I got Ronald Reagan on the other, which runs into Palmer. I can head down on that. The traffic is absolutely horrible on Ronald Reagan though. I have to find an alternate route. Oh, yeah. I know. Are you as bored as I am? And then, of course, 35, I can just jump on 1425 and just run over to 35 if I need to. So, I mean, it's in a good spot. Only takes me about 40 minutes to get to work on the motorcycle. So, I think I'm going to stay here for a while. Unless I get a job in Atlanta or New Orleans or Dallas or Albuquerque, I think I'm going to stay here. But yeah, that's about that. Patriots are up 10-0 over the Falcons. They were talking beforehand how have the Falcons ever recovered from being beat by the Patriots after being up at 28 points? And I don't think they have. I mean, the last couple of years they have not been good. And the Patriots are actually looking really good. Their defense is really good, and the Jones kid is figuring it out. So Belichick's building another dynasty. I'd like to see him go back and win a couple more Super Bowls with the Patriots, to be honest. So, but yeah, got any questions? Been awful quiet in the chat tonight. Looks like everybody left. Yeah, I know it's kind of boring and the production's not all that good. I don't have any co-hosts. It's just me. It's me hanging out. So, my cast doesn't even come join and watch. Yeah, they are. They're out there watching. But anyway, Kyle Rittenhouse. That's going down. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but and other trials started right during this Kyle Rittenhouse trial with the partner of Epstein is going on trial. So that's kind of weird that we're all distracted by Kyle Rittenhouse when Griswold, was it Griswold? What the hell's her name? Let me find that out real quick. But this trial just started too, but the press isn't even covering it. I mean, they're not even mentioning it. Ghislaine Maxwell, she goes on trial. Have you heard anything about it? No, you haven't. I didn't hear anything about it either until somebody made a TikTok video about it. And then the TikTok video showed up. It's like, holy crap, what the hell's going on here? But yeah, she went on trial, so I wonder what's going to come out of that. Wonder how many people are going to be suicided. Yeah, Epstein didn't kill himself. You're right. Epstein did not kill himself. What, how many? So. So yeah. So distraction with Kyle Rittenhouse, and I think the bottom line with this guy is that the whole thing from the beginning has been politicized, and anything like this that the media can jump on and run with. And somebody asked me today, says, well, what do you really think? What do you really think about Kyle? Was he right? Was he wrong? Is he guilty? Is he not guilty? I think Kyle's guilty of one thing and one thing only, and that's carrying a firearm around when being in a place where he probably should have just let well enough alone. I don't go to protests. I don't go down to riots unless I'm covering them for the show, and I don't go down any place that where I'm going to put myself in a situation where I'm going to have to defend myself. But he went down there armed, and he got into a situation where he felt he had to use his gun. Now here's the thing about all the open carry folks out there, my fellow Second Amendment supporters. You have to understand that if you carry a gun, there is a chance that you're going to find yourself in a situation where you'll have to make the decision of whether or not you're going to use it. And it doesn't matter if in the moment you think you're justified. There will be consequences. So when you carry a firearm, you have to understand that that is the choice you are making to get into a situation that if you have to use that firearm, that there will be consequences to using that firearm. 100% of the time, there will be consequences. There's never going to be a time where you use a firearm in public against another human being where there will not be where there not be consequences to that action, even if you are absolutely justified in what you did. Now, do I think Kyle was justified in what he did? I think he acted in a way that he thought was justified, and now the courts are going to have to figure it out. The problem I have with this is that it's been so politicized that the jury, if they find him not guilty, a la George Zimmerman, they're already gearing up to retaliate against the jury, and there's been some organizations that have implied that there will be retaliation against the jurists. Now, will that sway a jury into voting a certain way just to avoid the confrontation? Yeah, probably. I mean, they're human beings. They didn't ask for this. I mean, they got chosen because they're citizens, and because they're citizens, they went and are doing their civic duty, and they're going to take all the evidence and make a decision in this case of another human being. And now they've got people basically saying, we're going to find out where you live and we're going to shoot you. Now, I don't know why those people aren't in jail yet, but that's that's not justice. That's not justice. And I kind of think it's funny that Black Lives Matter is out there protesting, and not one black person was harmed in this whole situation. Not one. There was a white guy that shot 3 other white guys. And of course, there's been a whole slew of information about the guys he shot. The first one he shot apparently was a child molester. And I've looked into a lot of this stuff, and he did have charges against him for coercing sex with an underage boy. Maybe not a boy, but at least a child. He had like 3 or 4 counts of that. So yeah. And then the guy with the skateboard, apparently, he had a record of violence against women. And then the guy that actually had a gun and was going to shoot Kyle with it, and then Kyle beat him to the draw. Here's what's funny, what people are glossing over. The guy that got shot with a gun, who's now permanently disfigured because that close, a 5.56 is gonna it's gonna do some soft tissue damage right there, that close. So he was carrying his gun illegally. It wasn't registered. He was carrying illegally. He was carrying illegally. Now, per Wisconsin law, Kyle was not illegally carrying a firearm. That's why that charge was dropped, because they couldn't make it stick. It didn't meet the elements of the crime. And one of the popular creators on who's been a guest on the show asked, well, how can that not be a crime? But it's a crime to carry, I think it was like a bludgeoning stick or something. It's a crime to carry that, but it's not a crime for him to carry a military grade weapon, which means absolutely nothing. I said, well, that's the law. That's the law. Mostly it's for hunters, but when they wrote the law, it's so that 14, 15, and 16-year-olds could carry a long gun and they could go hunting with it. They could go out in the woods and shoot stuff. So, you have a situation where he was within the law carrying a gun, and I agree, though, he probably shouldn't have been down there in the first place, to be honest. I mean, it's his right to be there, but yeah, it probably wasn't a good decision making. And I don't think any law should prevent anybody to do what he did. I don't think any law should restrict people by age to go to a riot or a protest. I just think that as an individual, he could be making better decisions, not to put himself in that position. And when you go down looking for trouble, it'll find you. We had that incident here in Austin, Texas, where we had somebody down at the protest carrying his rifle around. And he had a sling on it, so he had it in his front. He had his hand on it, and all you have to do is turn it and come up, and that's it. You're ready. And he did. He turned it and walked towards somebody who happened to be armed too. And if you play with guns, someone's going to get shot. And it's not about deserving. It's not about whether it's right or wrong. If you carry a gun, be ready to use it and be ready to face the consequences. So you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. So do I think he's guilty? No, they're going to find him not guilty because he was defending himself. Should he have been in that position to begin with? No. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I think he should have stayed home. Of course, I think all of them should stay home. I mean, if you're going to protest the government, if you're going to take your grievances to the government, do it in a way that's respectful, that doesn't destroy people's property. And you know, you can say violence is the voice of the unheard. Well, you know, look at who you elected. That's where you start. Elect people that'll listen to you, not just tell you what you want to hear every 2, 3, 6 years, 4 years to get your vote. Hold their feet to the fire, and you know, get people in there that are going to listen to you. If the ones that have been in there for 40 years isn't listening to you, nothing's going to change unless you get rid of that person and vote in somebody who will listen to you. And that's how you change that. So, but hey, Thanksgiving is coming up. Of course, everybody's politicized that too. It's the mark of the beginning of the genocide or whatever. Look, forget all that. Forget all that. Just take a break. Maybe put down social media for a couple of days. Put your Christmas decorations up on Black Friday, or go participate in Black Friday, but be sensible about it. And just enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the time. Enjoy the food. You know, enjoy the Detroit Lions getting beat by the Bears. I know you're watching, Matt. Yeah, yeah. You know, enjoy it. Have food, fellowship, drink a little bit. Don't get all worked up over stuff that you can't control today. You know? Just relax. Just relax. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Well, I think I'm gonna cut this one short because I've kind of run out of things to say. Chat's kind of quiet. Matter of fact, I think I only got one person still sticking around. But we'll be back next week. We'll be back next week not next week, in 2 weeks. We're taking next week off. We'll be back in 2 weeks in the new studio with the new flamethrower up and running, with the cameras, and we're going to get the call-in feature to work. I don't think I could get it to work on this because I don't think this has the bandwidth or this has the capability to do it, but definitely on the new flamethrower. That thing is a beast. It is a beast. So we'll definitely be able to do it then. We'll get all the major players in here and get us going and get us back on track. And we'll have co-hosts again and discussion, and Mad Mike will be back, and player to be named later. And I think Leland's just chomping at he wants to come out here, but I think we're done with that. I think it's just going to be a studio of one, and then I'm going to have everybody piped in. But definitely the last show on this device. This will be it. Last show. But thanks for those of you who stopped by. Chat was kind of quiet tonight. It was very respectful. I thank you for that. We had to go through and clean some stuff out. But you know what? By the end of next year, we're going to have thousands of listeners, and it's not going to matter what 1 or 2 people say. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to this show taking off. You know, we've kind of stumbled into the video era and kind of had some baggage from the old show, the old audio only show that we kind of had to try to shake off. And, you know, who cares really? I do this for fun. I do this because I enjoy it. It's creative. I'm creating. We're going to have a lot more stuff happening. Videos. I think Danger Davis is going to start putting his videos together again. We're going to have musical guests come on. We're going to have, just like I had planned before. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But thanks for stopping by. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Eat lots of food. Just get fat. Get fat. Eat some fiber next morning and just crap it all out and get back to your life. And just really just put down social media. Just put down social media for 4 days. starting Wednesday to Sunday. Just don't get on it. Just take pictures, spend time with your loved ones. If you're like me, I'm going to go work. I'm going to cook my turkey on Thursday. Uh, you know, just relax and enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the long weekend and enjoy food and enjoy friends. And make sure you hit the like button or the dislike button or whatever button you want to hit. Share the show. Subscribe to the show. Pass it around. We'd love to have you come back. Show ideas. Send them to me, MikeAllenSports@gmail.com. Or you can go to theradiomancave.com and just leave at the very bottom. You can, leave a comment there, a contact comment. If you're a band, if you're a comedian, if you're somebody that wants someplace to be interviewed, let me know. I can do that too. But thanks for stopping by, folks. We will see you after Thanksgiving. Get nice and fat and then go on a diet. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Mobile Man Cave, and you have been on the air.